Thank you. You can be seated, folks. I just have to wait till I get my cue from the video. All right? And he says we're ready to go. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Mark Fellheimer, Chief Judge of the 11th Judicial Circuit of Illinois, which consists of 5 counties: Logan, Ford, Livingston, Woodford, and McLean counties. We have assembled today to celebrate the judicial appointment of Carla Barnes to fill the vacancy created by the retirement of Judge Scott Drzeski. I should remind you, please silence your phones at this point if you've got a cell phone. If you'd like to take photographs, please feel free to do so throughout the ceremony. I'd like to welcome Justice James Connect of the 4th District Appellate Court, who joins us, retired 11th Chief Judge Elizabeth Robb, the Honorable Dan Brady, Illinois State House of Representatives, 105th District, 11th Circuit Judges Paul Lawrence, in the back row, Judge Scott Cording, Judge Jason Chambers, Judge Jennifer Bachnick, Judge William Yoder, in the front row, Judge Casey Costigan, and then retired Judges Charles Reinard and retired former Chief Judge Kevin Fitzgerald. I would also like to welcome members of the public, members of the bar, staff of the circuit clerk and county offices, both elected officials and other retired and current judges that join us remotely. I especially want to welcome the friends and family of Carla Barnes that are here in person with us and also that are joining us remotely. Illinois Supreme Court Justice Rita Garman sends her regards as she was scheduled to be out of state today in advance. I would also like to acknowledge our clerk of the court, Don Everhart, to my left, who convened this session of court, along with our court reporter, Gail Everhart, no relation to Don Everhart, who is transcribing today's proceedings. With regard to COVID, we have the obligatory COVID disclosures. When Carla and I got together soon after her appointment, I told her that today was her day, that she could plan her swearing in any way that she wanted. We both knew that COVID restrictions and any fear of some super spreader event would force us to make some changes to our normal swearing in process. Therefore, with the help of our trial court administrator, Will Scanlon, who conveniently is on vacation out of state today, along with IT, we were able to have this ceremony videoed and live streamed so everybody could participate. Also, a big thanks to my assistant, Joy McKinney, Jason Daisy, and the McLean County Sheriff's Office, especially court security, in assisting us today. Unfortunately, we had to put a limit on the number of people in the courtroom for obvious reasons. We left that to Carla and those close to her. So those that are in the courtroom are masked, except myself as I'm talking right now. We're socially distanced as well. Those that are close to each other are family of Carla that are having contact. So from an optic standpoint, that's how we've situated the courtroom. I never thought, frankly, I'd have to give a disclosure like this, having performed 5 swearing-in ceremonies, but I guess we can add that to the list of first since the pandemic hit. The ceremony is evidence that the pandemic is not going to slow down the courts, the administration of justice, or of swearing in new judges. As Chief Judge and on behalf of all of the judges of the 11th Circuit, I welcome Carla Barnes as the newest circuit judge of the 11th Judicial Circuit of Illinois. 21 judges serve the citizens of the 11th Circuit, 11 circuit judges who are elected in a general election, and 10 associate judges who are then selected by the circuit judges. Carla was appointed to fill the remainder of Judge Scott Drzeski's judgeship until the general election in 2022, at which time the position will appear on the ballot in all 5 counties of the 11th Circuit. Judge Drzeski retired December 31st, and we have been down a judge since then, and I want to acknowledge and thank the current judges for stepping up, and some covering double dockets while we are and shortly will not be short a judge. It's also my honor to be a part of this investiture proceeding for Carla. No matter how many ceremonies I've been involved with, it never gets old. I still get excited, not for myself, but for the new judge and his or her family. It is often said that for a lawyer, becoming a judge is the pinnacle of one's legal career, and I'm sure Carla feels that way today. Before I share some information about Carla, I would like to recognize that Carla's swearing in is taking place during African American History Month, also known as Black History Month, that runs from February 1 to March 1 and traces its origins to 1915 and 1926, when it was only a week-long event as founded by Dr. Carter G. Woodson. Black History Month celebrates the contributions that African Americans have made to American history in their struggles for freedom and equality. It was later expanded to a full month, but the specific week Dr. Woodson chose was because it included the birthdays of Abraham Lincoln and Frederick Douglass, two key figures in the history of African Americans. Abraham Lincoln's birthday is February 12th, and Frederick Douglass's is believed to be February 14th. I find it fitting that Carla's swearing in just so happened to be during this one specific week of the year, as it frankly could have been any other week of the year. They say things happen for a reason, and this is yet another example. Before assembling my remarks for today, Carla provided me with some detailed information about her background that I would like to share with you now. Carla graduated from Illinois State University in December 1993 with a bachelor's degree in criminal justice sciences. Passionate about furthering her education, she enrolled in the John Marshall School of Law and graduated in 1998. Carla completed her law school internship with Chicagoland politician Edward Verdoliak. After graduation, she was immediately hired at the Verdoliak Law Firm. Upon leaving the firm, she was employed as a Cook County Assistant State's Attorney. After several years, she decided that she wanted to return to her adopted hometown in McLean County. She became a member then of the McLean County State's Attorney's Office, having been hired by retired Judge Charles Reinard. Although she enjoyed her time as a prosecutor, she felt that she could effect more change as a public defender. She was hired as an assistant public defender in 2001 and has worked in the McLean County Public Defender's Office since that time. In October 2014, Carla was appointed as the Chief McLean County Public Defender, making her the first African American to hold that position, as well as the first African American administrator for McLean County. The Public Defender's Office provides legal representation to indigent citizens in the criminal courtrooms of McLean County. Carla constantly works to ensure that all citizens are given zealous representation from the attorneys in her office. She is determined to exceed expectations and ensure that the constitutional rights of all citizens are protected. Currently, McLean County is addressing the issues of individuals undergoing mental illness treatment in jails. As a member of the council, Carla assists the county in implementing what policies and procedures the county should follow to minimize the damage caused by being incarcerated instead of receiving treatment. Carla is a board member of the Juvenile Justice Council. She serves as treasurer on the Illinois Council of Chief Defenders. She is an active member of the McLean County Truancy Committee, Veterans Court of the 11th Judicial Circuit, as well as Drug Court serving McLean County, a board member of the Great Plains Life Foundation, and Governor Bruce Rauner appointed Carla to the Illinois Criminal Justice Coordinating Council. The Illinois Supreme Court also appointed Carla to the Redeploy Illinois Oversight Board, and she is also a board member of the Illinois State University Foundation Board. Although the duties of the Chief Public Defender require Carla to spend less time in the courtroom, she works diligently, constantly seeking fairness and justice, making our world a better place. The most important thing Carla and I talked about when we met soon after her appointment was of her growing up and how she ended up in McLean County. Carla was raised in Chicago Heights in public housing. She did not have it easy growing up. She told me that she did not have a relationship with her father when she was growing up and that their mother suffered a debilitating illness that required her mother to go into an assisted living facility when Carla was 11 years old. She told me that her sister Sharon, who is with us today, then a student at Illinois State University and living in a dorm, secretly took Carla in to live with her in the dorm. And Carla then lived in the dorm at ISU until her sister was able to obtain an apartment. Sharon assumed the duties of parent and sister at age 19. Carla's admiration for Sharon is immense, for which she is eternally grateful. One thing that Carla is most proud about of her family is that despite their struggles growing up, both Carla and her siblings graduated from college. Just a short little bit of information about my relationship with Carla. I've known Carla for a long time. We have connections from my growing up in Pontiac and her in-laws who live in Pontiac, and with which she remains close today. I've known her former husband, Tony. He's somewhere here. There he is back there. Tony Harvey, with whom she remains close to today, almost my entire life. I grew up idolizing him as a star athlete at Pontiac Township High School. Her sister-in-law, Nikki, a childhood and high school friend of my sister, is a former track star, superstar, I should say, at Pontiac High School, holding many track records there as well. And then her father-in-law, Don Harvey, a legend at the Pontiac Correctional Center, which he served as warden after the 1978 prison riots. And then he served, and Judge Balknick may remember this, as a courthouse security deputy in Pontiac during his retirement. Don could be seen walking daily around town for exercise with his walking stick, and everyone knew him. And Don and my father remained good friends throughout the years, despite Don's recent health struggles. Don sadly passed away on February 1st, and I extend my condolences to the family. Briefly, early in my legal career, I would frequently interact with Carla at the courthouse here that we're in today. And I have no idea how we were first introduced. It was back in the late 90s. But every time I would see her, when I had a case in McLean, we would stop and catch up with each other. She was always sharp dressed, as she is today, and she was sharp tongued. Carla said it how it was, and I appreciated it. She was confident in her abilities, but she was not cocky. These traits, I believe, will serve her well on the bench, except the boring black robe may inhibit her great sense of style. When I became chief judge, I got an opportunity to interact with Carla on a regular basis through the Criminal Justice Coordinating Council and General Court Operations. Carla was involved in courthouse operation decision-making when COVID unfortunately hit last year and the social unrest over the past summer. I observed Carla interact with others in and out of the criminal justice system, and I always came away impressed. She had and has good working relationships with other justice stakeholders, even if they had conflicting constitutional roles and goals. She was assertive, and she followed through when issues arose and needed addressed. Carla and I often talk about the need for more minority attorneys to choose to live and practice in our circuit. She expressed concerns to me over the years about her struggles to hire minority attorneys in the public defender's office in McLean County due to a lack of qualified minority applicants or any minority applicants at all. We get very few minority applicants to become a judge in the 11th Circuit, both associate or circuit, and that's the case throughout downstate Illinois and elsewhere. Hopefully, with Carla's appointment today, it will encourage other minority attorneys to choose to live and practice in our circuit, to therefore increase the number of qualified minority attorneys for various positions within the judicial system, including future judgeships. The field of applicants that Carla was chosen from was as impressive as I can remember, and it says a lot about Carla to have been selected. I look forward to working with Judge Barnes as a colleague, and I'm sure she will hit the ground running, as I don't expect a very steep learning curve for her. Judge Barnes, I wish you the best as you embark on this next chapter of your career. As I've said before, these ceremonies are more than just the words spoken. Rather, it serves as an important reminder to me, and I assure you all of the judges, as to what a privilege it is to serve as a judge and as a way to reflect back to when we started our career paths as judges. More importantly, it reminds us of the truly awesome powers and responsibilities bestowed upon us that must not be taken lightly or for granted when we make countless decisions every day that affect people's lives. I am confident that Carla understands and appreciates these powers and responsibilities as she is about to take the oath in just a moment. These ceremonies are also more than simply administering an oath and congratulating the new judge. Rather, it demonstrates the continuity of the administration of justice and that it is truly greater than one particular person, as well as showing that while we miss the experience of judges who retire, it also reminds us that new judges truly are the lifeblood of the judicial system. Before I turn it over to the other speakers, I do wish to publicly thank Judge Scott Drzeski for his service to the circuit. Judge Drzeski handled some of the most serious, complex, and toughest cases that any judge faces in his or her career. He did not shy away from those cases or those decisions. He was one of the first to arrive to the courthouse in the morning and one of the last to leave at night. I joked when we said our farewell to him that he and I are both fairly competitive people, and I joked when he retired that I would oftentimes hustle to work in the morning just to get to work before him, like it was some sort of race. He didn't know that, but I did. And oftentimes I thought I got to work and I had won and beat him only to find out later that he was on vacation. Judge Drzeski's legal knowledge and experience will be missed, but as has happened throughout the years, new judges such as Judge Barnes will step up and the circuit will move forward. So Carla, thank you for inviting me to participate today in your ceremony. At this time, I would like to introduce Illinois Appellate Justice James Connect for some remarks. Justice Connect served as an 11th Circuit Associate Judge from 1975 to 1978, and you're still 29 years old, right? All right. A circuit judge from 1978 to 1986, and continues to serve today as he has since 1986 as an appellate justice on the 4th Appellate District of Illinois. Justice Connect.
I very rarely stick to a script, so I'm going to say first, I would like to extend my thanks to the select committee appointed by Justice Garmon to sift through the candidates who applied, and it was an impressive group. The work that they did was difficult, and then they made some recommendations to Justice Garmon, and I would also like to thank Justice Garmon and the Supreme Court of Illinois for making a wonderful choice. Additionally, and a plug for a local university, you might have heard a theme running through those remarks. Judge Barnes, soon to be Judge Barnes, graduated from Illinois State University. Her sister graduated from Illinois State University. A former chief judge graduated from Illinois State University, and he was one of my students, as was Scott Drzeski, one of my students early on at Illinois State University. I am a graduate of Illinois State University. A fellow member of the 4th District Appellate Court is a graduate of Illinois State University. So I would send out a call to any minority applicants. If you want to be considered for a job in McLean County, a good start would be to go to Illinois State University. It is true, based upon the chronology given by Judge Fellheimer, that I am over the crest of the hill and I'm on the downward slope. 46 years as a judge, so I'm an elder statesman. You have to have an old bald white guy appear at one of these events so that you know that there's that great longevity. Yet to participate in this event, I feel full of vigor and pride and hope for the future. President Dwight Eisenhower once said, "Farming looks mighty easy when your plow is a pencil and you're 1,000 miles away from a cornfield." He was talking about Congress that didn't understand farmers. I think it's the same with judges. Judging looks easy when you read about it in the newspaper or you click your remote and put on one of those terrible shows like Law and Order. Really only a few understand what we do. We never lack for armchair quarterbacks who second guess our decisions. Judges are entrusted with matters of life and liberty, the welfare of children, property, disputes between citizens. It's not easy, and I don't think it's a job. I think it's a calling. So we must bring to the bench those who can handle the responsibility and the power that comes from wearing a robe. The mantle of the robe is heavy, and the judge must remain modest and humble. Again, Justice Garmon and the Supreme Court of Illinois have done well in this selection. I'm not going to spend any time on the credentials and experience of Carla Barnes. Of course, she's well qualified. She got picked for this job from among wonderful candidates. She would not be here if she did not have sterling credentials. But I will tell you some important things. She will enter upon being a judge with grace and gusto. She knows it is an honor, and she understands it is a duty. She has climbed a ladder, but that ladder was leaning toward her, which made it that much harder. She's encountered obstacles. She experienced a difficult early life, and informed by that, she will use compassion and empathy in making decisions. She understands this community and the people of this community. She understands the awesome responsibility of being a judge. There is poetry in the law and great beauty in striving for justice as a lawyer or a judge. If being a judge was easy, what would it be worth? She understands the courtroom belongs to the people, and all stand equal before the bench. She has the force of will and the certainty of purpose to serve with honor. My profession, our profession, of which I am proud, will be enhanced today when she takes the oath of office. Amanda Gorman asked us in her poem, "Where can we find the light?" And then she answers, "For there is always light." And I will put this to you. Carla Barnes is brave enough to see the light, and you watch. She's brave enough to be the light, and I commend her to you.
I'd now like to introduce to you Representative Dan Brady, who represents the 105th Congressional District. Representative Brady.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Judge Feldheimer, judges, active and retired, and the family and friends of soon-to-be sworn-in Judge Carla Barnes. I've had the opportunity on numerous occasions to attend judicial swearing-ins like today. However, this is the first time I've had the opportunity and was asked to offer remarks. And when Carla called to me and asked me to speak, I was honored. I do remember sitting in the audience on several occasions in the past, though, wondering when certain speakers would stop talking. Highlighting birth to bench got a little long sometimes. So I pledge to you today that I will do my best to see that you don't have the same thoughts of my remarks at the end. I first met Carla during my first run for state representative. We were introduced by our mutual friends who are both joining us today, Millicent Roth, and speaking shortly, Marina Matoya. Carla, Millie, and Marina were all working as assistant McLean County State's attorneys, and I was serving as McLean County coroner. Millie and Marina not only helped me on the campaign trail, but would later help run my district office. Carla gravitated towards my campaign and would not only help me win my first election, but has helped me every election since on a variety of fronts. In fact, Carla, Millie, and Marina were affectionately called the Brady ladies for their never-ending support, of which I'm incredibly grateful. Today is about Carla. Perhaps I'm a bit out of step, but I did not come here today to only emphasize Carla's uniqueness. Certainly, I recognize her first and congratulated her on her achievements and her history-making appointment today. But I do not want to focus my remarks only on what makes her singular. I'd like to emphasize what will make Carla a great judge, and that is her commonness. I want to point out Carla's sense of coming from the people. Lady Justice wears the blindfold holding the scales of justice to be impartial, much like Carla when she was in her years of service as McLean County Public Defender, helping to ensure that all have access to the courts and legal representation. To her, the black robe will not be a cloak of superiority, but a gown of responsibility. Her heart will not be entombed in its folds, but warmed by its fabric. Her courtroom will not be antiseptic and lacking in compassion. It will be informed by a shared sense of humanity. You know, 170 years or so ago, a Prairie lawyer who practiced in front of Carla's predecessors on this very circuit is said to have observed a man that he did not care for. I don't like that fellow, he said. I should get to know him better. That's the kind of feeling that Judge Carla Barnes will bring to the bench. I believe she will bring a cultural awareness that will be a great assistance to the 11th Judicial Circuit. In these divisive times, I know the people of Ford, Livingston, Logan, McLean, and Woodford counties will be served well by Judge Carla Barnes. Congratulations, Your Honor.
Is that your mask?
I always carry a spare in my wallet.
All right, at this time, I would like to introduce Linda Foster, President of the Bloomington Normal NAACP. Ms. Foster?
I just knew that Dan was going to have a proclamation, and this is your day, and I wouldn't be able to do anything bigger than that. So, thanks, Dan. Your Honor.
Yes.
Those in the dais, those that are here in this celebration, I am pleased to be here. I am enthused to be here. I am just so happy, can y'all see it? For this day. I'm here to make a few comments. For the first black judge to be sworn in into the 11th Circuit Court, but not the last. But not the last. Thank you. It is my pleasure to say a few words about my friend, attorney, I'm gonna go ahead and call it, now Judge, Ms. Carla Barnes. I've been fortunate to have known Carla for a long time, even before my time in the leadership role as the NAACP president. An organization's mission is to rid racism and discrimination from the courtrooms, the schoolrooms, from the interview rooms, and from the waiting room. During my time when Carla and Eric Tapley, I know he's smiling down from heaven, and myself, we talked about her future. We seen it in her. And yeah, we were talking about her success and the impact of her success and what it means and what it meant to African American community, to little girls and to the underserved and overrepresented in the criminal justice system. Today we celebrate the culmination of hard work integrity, compassion, passion, commitment, intelligence, courage, and always with a sense of justice and being an advocate for the marginalized population. Carla comes from humble backgrounds, which taught her about giving and forgiving. Carla has truly lived this life. You're standing on the shoulders of some powerful women like Rosa Parks, Michelle Obama, Ida B. Wells, Miss Coretta Scott King, Stacey Abrams, Ruby Bridges, and the Honorable Ruth Bader Ginsburg, and the Vice President, Ms. Kamala Harris. I'm proud of who you are becoming, and all that you have to give as a role model, trendsetter, history maker, and always holding up the scales of justice, doing all of your deliberations and communications. This pen I wear is a lapel pen for NAACP. It has the Lady Justice, the scale of justice on it. Always remember that above all, stay true. Above all, stay true to yourself, especially during the times of lows, that God loves you and always will be with you. And he will never forsake you. Your family and your community family knows the sacrifices and knows the work that you have made. And so I say to you, Judge Carla Barnes, we got you.
Thank you. At this time, I'll introduce to you Assistant Public Defender Marina Matoya, who's appeared before me many times, and I've always enjoyed when she has appeared in front of me. Marina, it's all yours.
Thank you, Judge Feldheimer. There are so many words I could use to describe Carla Barnes: friend, mentor, leader. Kind, compassionate, selfless, trustworthy. Intelligent, brilliant, dedicated, generous, and the list goes on. But if I had to choose only one word to describe Carla, it would have to be integrity. I've had many opportunities to watch Carla do the right thing, no matter the cost. Her honesty and desire to seek the truth have inspired others to achieve these same goals, to not only achieve them, but to daily put them into practice, and in turn, be an example for others to follow. It's important that we continue to grow in our gift and abilities, but it's equally important to come alongside others to help them also reach their full potential. As the saying goes, we should constantly have a hand reaching up to continue to grow, and just as importantly, always have a hand reaching down to help the next person up. And Carla has remained steadfast in staying this course. My respect for Carla Barnes has continued to grow over the years as she models these principles. I've known Carla for 20 years. We first met in the McLean County State's Attorney's Office, where we were both assistants. Retired Judge Charlie Reinert was at the time the state's attorney for McLean County. And Judge Reinert, then State's Attorney Reinert, had a vision to include diversity in his office. He hired me. A few months later, he hired Carla Barnes. And a short time after that, he hired Millicent Roth. Others with diverse backgrounds and cultures would follow. But during our time together in the state's attorney's office, Carla, Millicent, and myself often referred to ourselves as Charlie's Angels. We actually took this photo to capture Charlie's Angels. We became fast friends, and we have remained close friends for 2 decades now. Despite Carla being so much younger than me, I have said on occasion, Carla, I'm going to grow up and be just like you. So I feel qualified in stating Carla is going to be an incredible judge. She's passionate about the law, justice, serving others, and as someone has already said, to make the world a better place. She will always listen to each side, and her rulings will reflect her desire to always make a fair decision. Chief Judge Feldheimer, judges, retired chief judges, friends, family, colleagues, renowned guests, and online guests. It is my distinct privilege to have this opportunity to introduce soon-to-be Circuit Judge Carla Barnes.
Thank you. At this time, I would like to introduce to you retired Chief Judge Elizabeth Robb, who served as the 11th Circuit Chief Judge from 2004 until 2014, who has some remarks and will then administer the oath of office to Carla. Chief Judge Robb.
Chief Judge Feldheimer, colleagues, judges, friends, family, guests, those abroad, probably some abroad who are watching. It's my distinct honor, and thank you, Carla, for asking me to swear you in today. You've become a friend after I retired and could have a little more latitude with making friends with lawyers. We've had an opportunity to spend some time together, and I truly cherish the opportunity to be your friend. You've been on my radar a long time as a potential judge, and I am just absolutely delighted and thrilled and feel that the 11th Circuit is enriched by the selection of you as a circuit judge. And I wish you a successful, long career. It is true, you have tremendous integrity. You have tremendous responsibility, and I think you know that. And don't let the weight of that make this such an onerous task. Enjoy it. It's a wonderful opportunity, and I think you know. Being a judge is one of the greatest things in the world. So if with that, I would like to invite you forward. And ask you to please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name,
Carla Barnes,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and that I will faithfully discharge
and that I will faithfully discharge
the duties of judge
the duties of judge
of the Circuit Court for the 11th Judicial Circuit of Illinois,
of the Circuit Court for the 11th Judicial Circuit of Illinois,
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
I would give you a hug if it was. Dear hug.
Thank you so much. He said best mom ever too. Thank you so much.
Judge Barnes, the floor is yours.
Please, the court.
Well, 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 thank you all so much. With this privilege of serving the community comes great responsibility. That responsibility will never be taken lightly. Thank you, God, for carrying me this far and for blessing me with your grace. Thank you, Judge Feldheimer, Justice Garman, Justice Connect, the judges of the 11th Judicial Circuit, elected officials, and county officials, attorneys of the McLean County Bar Association, Judge Reinert, Judge Freeze, Judge Robb, my dear friend, Don Knapp, Judge Chambers, and John Sandage. The entire incredible staff of the McLean County Public Defender's Office. You all are dynamic and dynamite. I could not have been able to succeed in running the Public Defender's Office for the last 6.5 years without my staff. Mary Meyer, who, as far as I'm concerned, every county administrator at this point should be fighting for her to run their office because she always made sure my I's were dotted, my T's were crossed, and that I could present well. My friends and family, I'm honored to be here today. This moment is so much bigger than me. There are so many people who helped me along the way. Although everyone is quick to point out that it was my hard work, yes, Judge Yoder, thank you. Thank you, Judge Costigan, because every time I talk to you two, you tell me over and over again, Carla, you did it, it's your hard work, it's you. Thank you. But there are so many other supporters that never allowed me to be complacent, encouraged and constantly motivated me to never give up. The McLean County Courthouse was originally constructed in 1868. There have been many great judges that have come and gone, and now in 2021, I am given the honor to serve. Thank you, Justice Garman. I'll never let you down. I appreciate the confidence that Justice Garman has placed in me. When I reflect on how all of this has come into reality, I can't help but to personally recognize Judge Reinert. Judge Reinert was McLean County State's attorney in 2001, and he had a passion for making sure that his office reflected the demographic of the community. As a result, he sought out and hired many African American attorneys in his office. Bloomington was my adopted home, and I thank you for bringing me back. Without that opportunity, I wouldn't be here today. Thank you. The responsibility of being a judge is not to be taken lightly. The public trust is to be held in the highest regard, and I will work every day to maintain that trust. I am humbled and privileged to be here, and I want you all to know that every day that I enter the courthouse, I am working to exceed all expectations. I have worked in this Law and Justice Center for over 19 years. I have developed many meaningful relationships with deputies, members of the clerk's office, court reporters, court security, maintenance staff, as well as mail attendants, and it's been somewhat like a family. Over the years, we've taken care of each other. We have shared in the personal losses of one another, as well as in the victories. In this moment, I share this joyous occasion with you all. Thank you all so much. I was appointed as Chief Public Defender a little over 6 years ago, and during that time and after that time, I was mentored by Judge Robb. Judge Robb is a dynamic trailblazer who paved the way for women attorneys in the 11th Judicial Circuit. She was the first female associate judge, the first female circuit judge, and the first female chief judge. Judge Robb takes her time to really figure out who you are as a person. She helps develop your professional career, and even when you doubt yourself, she doesn't. She is that person who takes a real interest in your success. And I know that if it were not for her mentorship, I wouldn't be the attorney that I was, and I would not be the judge that I'm going to be. If it were not for one, Judge Robb, being our first, there would not now this year be Judge Bachnick, Judge Foley, Judge McFarland, Judge Duffy, and now myself. I think they would agree that we can't thank you enough. I'm blessed to be here with my family. My brother John Barnes is here from Chicago. He runs his own law office. My brother Darren Barnes is here, who is the highlight of every family gathering. And my sister Sharon, who Judge Feldheimer spoke of. Sharon was 19 years old and had the fortunate task of raising her younger sister, who was 6 years younger. It couldn't have been easy, and I know it wasn't fair. You had to become both mother and father, and all the while, you were trying to maintain the relationship of big sister. You had to give up so much, and though it wasn't fair to you, you made the sacrifices, you did your best. I thank you and I love you. You worried so much about me, but look, sissy, I didn't turn out too bad. We had a loving, God-fearing mother, Inez Barnes, who taught us the value of education and work ethic, and to always look out for each other. She couldn't, because of her illness, take care of us the way that she wanted, but somehow, because of her belief in God and her belief in us, the four of us had the audacity to believe that we could succeed, get an education, graduate from college, not become our circumstance, and set the world on fire. I'm sure our mother is so very proud of us. I have amazing children. Ryan is here from Colorado. He's an Army veteran, and he's finishing college. Carla is a student at Heartland Community College, and Haley, my daughter, is a student at DePaul University. I'm very proud of you three. I was the mom that missed some football games. I was the mom that missed some dance recitals. As a single parent, I not only wanted to provide for you, but it was important to me to instill values that were taught to me, education and work ethic. I attended more games than I missed, and I attended more dance recitals than I missed. And I know, because I see it in all three of you, that you did learn those lessons. You learned those very important life lessons, and I'm very proud of you. I have a wonderful partner who told me not to mention his name, Mr. Willie Brown. Mr. Willie Brown is retired now from State Farm, and he works harder than any retired person that I know. He continues to do so much for this community, and he's taught me the value of giving. He joins me in the belief that giving to the community enhances your life. The return is not tangible, but in seeing the growth and development of others is supposed to be intangible and immeasurable. My life is enhanced because of you, and you continue to make everything better. When I take the bench, I'm hearing cases in Livingston County with my mentor, Judge Bachnick. I'm going to be busy, but I'm going to be ready. This is an important job, but I think being a public defender has helped prepare me for it. For every litigant, their case is the most important case for them. They're anxious, nervous, and some may even be bitter. But all of them want to feel that their case is important to the judge. I will work hard to really listen to them and always do my best at applying the law to their set of facts. Win or lose, they're going to know that I was fair. Today I received a message from a friend, and I'd like to read part of it to you. He said, Carla, you have earned this position through hard work, sacrifice, and dedication to the cause of justice. In your new role, don't abandon those virtues. In fact, work harder, sacrifice more, and never forget that justice is what you must always seek. Thank you, Judge Freitag. I'm honored to receive this appointment. I have been here serving the public for the last 19 years, and I plan on serving in this capacity for many years to come. I look forward to running in and winning the election for this position in 2022, and I can now thank you for your support and your votes. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge Barnes. As Carla said, she will initially be assigned to Livingston County to preside over a criminal docket and will then return to McLean County. As you can imagine, she has to allow some conflicts to pass from her service as public defender. Judge Chambers, when he came on board as state's attorney, he also spent some time in Livingston County. I was in Livingston County yesterday, and I think I can speak for Judge Balknick and others. The entire building is excited to have Judge Barnes come spend some time, and I'm sure when it's your time to go, they're going to miss you as much as they're looking forward to having you. As Carla also said, in Illinois, every new judge is required to have a judicial mentor. When I approached Judge Balknick to see if she was willing to serve in that capacity, whether or not Carla was in Livingston, Judge Balknick was elated, and she looks forward as well, as they both used to live in the same subdivision in Pontiac when Carla lived there, so it's sort of a reunion for the two of them. Carla is even more fortunate today as she gets to start her judicial career with a long weekend due to the court holidays for Lincoln and Washington's birthday, so it couldn't be any better for you, Carla. Once again, I'm delighted to be part of this ceremony today, and on behalf of myself and all of the judges of the 11th Judicial Circuit, I look forward to serving with you as a colleague, and I once again welcome you to the bench. At this point, I now declare this court proceeding concluded, and we are adjourned. Thank you.